Since the start of 2023, Bitcoin has been an absolute powerhouse, crushing everything in its path, rising nearly 400%. It went from around $15,000 to over $70,000 in under a year and a half. It's been one of the best performers out of every investment vehicle available other than the likes of Nvidia. BlackRock, the largest fund in the entire world, created a Bitcoin ETF, allowing institutions to invest into Bitcoin, opening up the floodgates to potentially trillions of dollars. And Bitcoin went through its fourth halvening, which cut the new supply entering the market in half. With all of this good news, we should be ecstatic. There's just one problem. We're not. Bitcoin topped out 5 months ago and has been range-bound ever since. And recently, it broke below that range, even though it did just rise back above it. And some altcoins did have a nice rally, but ultimately crashed hard, with many back at the prices that they were at a year ago. Depending on where you look, you'll see people hardcore bear posting, telling you to sell everything and that the bull market is over, or you'll see moon boys telling you to buy the dip even though they told you to buy the dip when things first crashed, and then they told you to buy the dip after the dip, and then they told you to buy the dip after the dip after the dip. The thing that you need to understand is that it doesn't matter if you're a bull or a bear, if the prices go up or go down. You could still make money in these markets, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in this video. By the way, in case you're new here, my name's Lewis. I've been a crypto trader for over 7 years, managed millions of dollars of trading capital, and I've worked for multi-7-figure crypto corporations as their lead analyst. I started a crypto trading and educational company called Crypto Elite and was one of the very few people who publicly sold the top the last market cycle, along with actually publicly warning people about huge risks such as FTX and Luna before they crashed, saving people millions of dollars. Before crypto, I was a functional health practitioner helping people get healthy by optimizing their diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplementation. Thanks to crypto, I was able to buy a brand new luxury apartment in Miami, and now I travel the world, trade from my laptop, and make videos to help you win in the crypto markets. The only thing that I want to ask you is to simply just tap that like button and leave a comment to help blow this channel up and spread the word. If you're watching this, you're actually super early and part of the under 5K sub gang. So comment 5K and I'll choose one of the comments to give away $100 worth of Solana or USDC. So for this video, here's what we're going to be covering. First, we're going to be going over the details as to why Bitcoin and altcoins dumped and why you shouldn't be worried, depending on what you're in. Next, I'll share what we need to see happen for this bull market to continue and why I believe that there's still a lot more potential to go. Also, I'll be sharing with you my predictions on what I believe is going to happen in the markets and the strategies on how you could potentially make money in this current bull run. Most importantly, I'm going to share with you the crypto narratives that are going to pick up and start to run as soon as Bitcoin is able to stabilize. Some of these coins still have the potential to 10x or more, which is why I have my own money in these cryptos. So first off, why has the market been going down? There are a lot of theories, but you don't have to make up some random conspiracy to see that after the Bitcoin halving, the prices of cryptocurrencies go down. This has happened every Bitcoin halving. The good news is that after the drawdown, the price then tends to run hard. In fact, Bitcoin has chopped around for 70 days after the last halving before absolutely sending. Many people are confused as to why the price dumped after the supply gets cut in half, because you would think that if the supply goes down, but the demand stays the same, then the price should go up. And that is exactly what happens. It just doesn't happen right away. You see, crypto is still a speculative asset, which means that everyone is trying to make money by outsmarting everyone else. Every time you buy, there's a seller on the other side of the trade. And every time you sell, there's a buyer on the other side of the trade. The people with the most amount of money need a lot of people to buy in order to sell their crypto. So, since everyone thinks that Bitcoin will moon as soon as the halving event takes place, most retail will be buying. This provides the liquidity needed for big players to sell. And since they have more money than you and me, the market eventually runs out of buyers and the prices go down. Then, after the prices tank and everyone thinks it's over, the big players and smart money start to buy back. This is when most people are throwing in the towel and giving up. In fact, nearly every single time there is a huge event that is supposed to be really good for certain crypto, the prices usually go up leading into the event. And then once the event happens, the price goes down. Remember when Elon Musk went on Saturday Night Live to talk about Dogecoin? The price went up for months leading into that event, then crashed the day that it happened. This happens so much that there is even a trading strategy based around it called buy the rumor, sell the news. No asset just goes straight up forever. There are always corrections. And this is precisely the reason why you shouldn't be worried. Because even if Bitcoin continues to fall, it will reach a price where these huge institutions won't be able to resist. And because there are more institutional players with big money entering the crypto markets than ever before, they will slurp up as much Bitcoin as they could get their hands on. So the first reason why crypto has been crashing is because it's following the same path that it always has. Everything we've seen on the Bitcoin chart as of late is falling well within the normal bull cycle price action. In fact, price action is what I use to trade Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And I have videos that teach you exactly on how to use price action to make money in this market. So be sure to check the description or click the link that should pop up in the top right corner of this video so that you watch them, and that will give you a great understanding of how Bitcoin is following the normal cycle patterns and is still well on its way to $100,000 or more. The second reason why the markets aren't rallying super hard right now is because of inflation. Everyone was thinking that inflation was going to be more under control this year because the Fed has been raising interest rates and trying to tame inflation. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter where you go. Everything you buy now is more expensive. From gas to groceries to rent, everything costs way more now than it used to. The value of your dollar is continuing to decline year over year. This is because the government prints money out of thin air, which devalues the currency. Now, not to be doom and gloom over here, because I don't think this will happen in our lifetime, but unfortunately, I do think that the US government will continue to print trillions of dollars, and they probably won't stop until America collapses. On one hand, that's bad, for obvious reasons. On the other hand, when people get free money in the forms of stimulus checks and insanely low interest rates, that creates more buying and expansion of businesses, which ultimately pushes the markets up higher. This is why owning assets is so important, because if the US isn't going to stop printing money, then standard goods and services will cost more, but underlying assets will rise in value. Now, something to know is that every other country on earth also prints insane amounts of money, and their currencies are devaluing too. So the US just needs to make sure that it doesn't go down as fast as everyone else. It's like that one saying, you don't have to run faster than the bear to get away. You just have to run faster than the guy next to you. The US doesn't have to stop inflation. It just needs to make sure inflation is less than everyone else. A third reason why the markets have drastically slowed down is because the inflows from the ETFs have also drastically slowed down. If you take a look at this chart, you could see the massive amounts of money that was being put into these Bitcoin ETFs when they launched, and the gradual decline over time. There were even days when the amount of outflows were greater than the amount of inflows. This probably happened because the people who bought the ETF early made some decent gains and decided to sell. Either that, or people on the inside knew that the price was going down, so they sold. Either way, the initial influx of money into the market from the Bitcoin ETF and all of the Bitcoin ETF hype has died off. Add in rising interest rates and the halving event, and you have yourself a mix of things that ended up with the market tanking. The good news, though, is that when things crash hard and people are fearful and most of the market is doubting a run-up is going to happen, and some people are even saying that the bull market is over, that is, many times, a great opportunity to get in before the market takes off again. So for a lot of people who buy in during the down days, buckle down and don't panic sell or paper hand, they will be rewarded and be able to pay off their home or travel the world and basically do whatever they want. In the last bull cycle, Bitcoin had drawdowns between 15 and 55%, with 3 of them being over 24%. This all happened while Bitcoin made its way from $4,000 to $69,000 in under 2 years. This cycle, we had 5 drawdowns between 20 and 24%, and we're currently experiencing the first drawdown of over 24% this cycle. If this cycle plays anything like the previous ones, then the current crash is simply a way to flush out weak hands before we make our way back up. And if certain events happen, such as Trump getting elected and creating crypto-friendly regulation, the Fed cutting rates and printing money, or other big macroeconomic events, then there's a possibility that we're going to have the biggest bull market ever. Now, because of the current crash, I see a lot of new people who entered the crypto market recently getting extremely emotional, especially if they were 100% in alts, deployed all of their cash already, or if they bought with leverage any time in the past few months. One of my favorite coins, Ondo, is down from $1.47 to around $1. But if you got back in when I first called it in the Crypto Elite VIP, you're still up over 200%. Same with many other coins that were bought before this last run-up, including Caspa, which is still up over 1,000%. The thing to know is that markets simply do not go up every single month. Even in bull markets, there are major pullbacks. And unless you're a trader like me, you don't want to be glued to your screen and stare at the charts every single day. You want to plot out key levels, wait until the coins drop to them, then buy and walk away. And even if you are a trader, you should also have a longer term portfolio that plays the market cycles or the bigger swings. For me, I have 3 major accounts. One is my trading account where I trade the shorter term trades. Then I have my longer term swing trading account where I might hold coins for months. And then I have my investment account where I scale out small amounts on the way up after big gains. If you don't know how to trade, you shouldn't be trying to go all in or all out of the markets. And according to one of my favorite studies by Fidelity, most of the time, the people who are the least active ended up making the most returns. With saying that, I also happen to think that the reason why most traders lose is because they simply don't know what they're doing. That's why I put together a comprehensive course on trading and investing into crypto that goes over everything I did on how I was able to make over 7 figures in the crypto market. So if you want to really dive deep and have a true understanding of the crypto markets, you could access that at cryptoelite.com. And if you don't want to learn all the ins and outs of crypto, it's probably best to just research some good projects, invest what you can, and take profit orders so that you'll sell on the way up. Personally, I like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ondo, Brett, Ton, and a few others that I will talk about later in this video. All I know is that I don't remember too many of the smaller trades that I took last cycle, but I sure as hell remember the $7 million that I missed out on because I paper-handed my Dogecoin before it went up to do a 70x. And I'm trying not to make the same mistake this time around. And I bet you that 6 months from now, these prices will look like an absolute steal. The last thing that you want to do is have zero exposure to this crypto market. This isn't financial advice, but right now the prices are low and you have the opportunity to buy low. And if you've been in for a while and saw your portfolio make massive gains, but you never took any profits, and now you're seeing your account go down by tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, take this as a learning lesson to lock in profits on the way up and never get too greedy. You could also take this time to reflect on your financial goals, the projects that you're in, your overall thesis for the market, and why you're in what you're in. Maybe move some things around or do some research into the market to come up with a thesis that is highly convincing and makes sense. Think about what you could do better during the next leg up. And if you're overly emotional whenever the market crashes, it most likely means that you have too much money in the markets and you're overexposed. If you invest more than you're willing to lose, then you're overexposed, period. If you absolutely need the money in crypto to pay off your mortgage or your cell phone bill, or God forbid, pay for food, then you have way too much money in the markets. Look, I'm not trying to tell you that taking out loans or mortgaging your house to buy crypto is stupid, because that's actually exactly what I did, and that's how I was able to make so much money. But I did that at the lows of the bear market, not a year and a half into the bull market when Bitcoin is up hundreds of percent and a lot of altcoins went up thousands of percent. It would be absolutely idiotic and incredibly irresponsible to take out loans or max out your credit cards to buy crypto this late into the crypto cycle, even though many do have huge upside potential and there is a high probability that the cryptos will go up. Now, when I was first making this video, Bitcoin actually fell below the 4-month range that it was just in. However, as of this recording, as I'm making this right now, Bitcoin has actually reclaimed that $60,000 mark. And it's so funny to see this because now Bitcoin is extremely bullish, especially after what happened with Trump at the rally, where someone tried to actually him, which was absolutely crazy. And there are so many things to talk about just with that alone, but that might have actually marked the bottom of this current move down, or the move down that, we just had when Bitcoin fell below 60,000. But now that it's back above 60,000, it's really, really bullish. But when it fell below, so many people lost hope and they thought that the bull market was over. Personally, I just started dollar cost averaging into the market over the course of the last few weeks when the price actually fell, because you can't really mark the tops or the bottoms. It's super hard. So dollar cost averaging is a great way to get in at a great price when the market is crashing. And that is something that I recommend everyone to do whenever the markets are going down. Now, if the markets are going up, is obviously not a good idea to dollar cost average, because you're just going to raise your average buy price. But if the markets are crashing, buying small amounts and gradually increasing the amount that you purchase as the price drops further is a way to actually get a great entry price. Of course, the best thing is to have a cash flowing business so that if prices do tank, you could buy more and lower your average entry. Then, if we get either a capitulation candle or a bullish chart formation, which is what we got now, you could put the rest in. That at least is what I did. And I did that because I don't believe that the bull market is even close to being finished. I simply do not believe that all of the money in the world that could have got into crypto this cycle was already put into the markets. To me, that seems totally ridiculous to think that way. I do believe we will see Bitcoin over $100,000 in 2025, and that we will see some extraordinary gains in alts in 2025 as well. Look, this market cycle, it's been rough. There's no doubting that. But if you zoom out and you look at the Bitcoin market cycle chart, we aren't expected to see the top until September of 2025, which is still over a year away. And the real alt cycle, where everything goes crazy, only happens for 2 to 3 months before the blow off tops. So if you're following the history of Bitcoin and basing your investments on what has happened in the past, then you shouldn't be worried about these short-term dips in the market, and instead should be using them as buying opportunities so that you could sell whenever we do get that huge move up in the markets. I'm going to be dropping a series on market cycles really soon, which, by the way, is a great reason why you should subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And in those market cycle series, I explain that most people think that as prices move up, investments get less risky. The truth is actually the opposite. As prices move up, the ability to make large gains decreases, and the risk that your investment will eventually be underwater goes up. You see, as prices go down, so does the risk, because there is a higher probability that in the future the prices will move higher than current valuations. And yet, people think and act in opposite to this reality. Just like how you would want to buy a TV or shoes or basically anything in real life at a discount, you want to do the same thing for stocks and cryptocurrencies, and prices are at a discount right now. In fact, many coins are discounted 50% or more from where they were just a few months ago. So the prices now are a much better opportunity and propose much less risk with much greater upside potential compared to where they were if they have solid fundamentals. Before the reclaim of $60,000, I was thinking Bitcoin was probably going to go down to maybe 50, and it maybe even had the possibility to go down to 45. But even so, that is not stopping me, or it did not stop me from averaging in. I started to buy and I continued to buy when Bitcoin was 59, 58, 57, 56, 55,000, all the way down to the very, very lows of the most recent lows. And I was buying because I knew that the price would eventually go back up and that this bull market is far from over. And that's the type of mindset that you need to have if you want to be successful in this market. You can't get scared during huge market crashes. And by the way, if you follow other people on social media and you saw that they were calling for Bitcoin to fall below 45,000, maybe they were calling Bitcoin to fall to 40 or 35 or 30 or maybe even more, then just unfollow them, because that is complete and was complete clickbait BS that they were simply just using to farm for engagement. the probability of Bitcoin going that low was under 1%. And so I hope that you know now that if you follow these type of accounts that have these sensational headlines saying Bitcoin's going down to $20,000 or $15,000, that is complete nonsense, and that you really shouldn't be following them, and you really shouldn't be letting those type of pretty much nonsense into your brain. If you want to succeed in investing over the long term, you have to think rationally, you have to think logically, and sometimes that does mean that you logically think of the irrational things that will happen, but just having it in your head, the probabilities of things, and then going with those, that's what's going to make you win in the long run. If you're just submitting to these fear-mongering posts about Bitcoin crashing or things going to zero, then I'm sorry, but you're not going to make it. You need to learn to think for yourself, or at least follow people who have a level head. Mainstream media has already learned that negative news is what gets the eyeballs and the clicks. And many YouTubers, people on X.com, and other social media sites also know that saying things like Bitcoin is going to zero or even 20K or other crazy low numbers, that's what gets the clicks and ultimately more money in their pockets. Your job in the markets is to remove all the external noise and all of the fear mongering. You need to analyze the markets and you need to come up with your own analysis. Then you need to set in your orders and you need to walk away. And that is how you will win when it comes to investing. Now, I like using charts and looking at data, so let's look at the total market cap. So if you look at the total market cap of crypto, you could see that we never even reached the previous all-time highs of the last cycle. Every market cycle that we've had before this one, we have seen new all-time highs. You could see this right here. This was in the 2021 cycle, and this was the market highs of the 2018 cycle. And before that, we had another cycle that you can't even see on this chart because the price moves up so freaking much. Now, if no new money is entering the market and we are truly cooked, then yes, it's over. But if there is still money on the sidelines that will be deployed, then this bull market is far from over. So with saying all of that, here's how I'm preparing for the next leg up. Like I mentioned, I was thinking that a lot more money was going to be entering the market, and it looks like it has, because this was the 4-month range that Bitcoin was experiencing between $60,000 and let's just say $71,000. And it was in here ever since February 29th. And it broke below it. And right here, this is when everyone started freaking out. And you know what? There was some validity to that because we did break below a 4-month range. And a lot of times it's not likely that we're going to just reclaim it right away. But you have to be prepared for every single circumstance. So as soon as Bitcoin closed right above this $60,000 mark, I went all in. And that's because that was part of my plan. And once again, that's how you succeed in this market. You create a plan for every situation. My plan was to dollar cost average every single day underneath here, all the way down to around 50,000, maybe even down into the $45,000 to $49,000 region. However, I was dollar cost averaging down here. And as soon as this reclaimed the range, that is a signal to me that buyers are stepping up and I'm going to go in. And so now, if Bitcoin falls back down to this big support range, that is an automatic buy for me because I think that ultimately we're going to see the top of the range get hit and then see Bitcoin move even higher. And the reason why I'm buying Bitcoin and why I like Bitcoin is, number one, I have enough capital to where it will make a difference if I actually purchase it. But also, if you compare Bitcoin to a lot of the alts, Bitcoin has simply been outperforming them. And I want to be in the things that are outperforming everything else. Now, speaking about outperforming for alts, I think that the biggest narrative for this upcoming bull run, it has to be the base chain or the Base network. I'm gonna make an entire video on this, but to sum it up, Base is a blockchain created by Coinbase that solves the problems of Ethereum. On ETH, sending coins and running apps can be expensive. On Base, you could send coins for almost nothing. On ETH, transactions could take some time. Maybe it's 20 seconds, maybe sometimes it's 20 minutes. It depends on a lot of different factors. On Base, transactions are settled in just a few seconds. So fundamentally, Base is better than ETH and most other cryptos. But we all know that fundamentals don't matter much in crypto. It's all about the narratives and the hype. Luckily, Base has both. You see, Base is created by Coinbase. Coinbase is the #1 crypto exchange in America, and BlackRock, the biggest fund in the world, is a big supporter of Coinbase. Coinbase has over 80 million users ready to be onboarded and has a really good wallet called Coinbase Wallet. This is pretty much the only other wallet outside of MetaMask and Phantom that I actually use quite often, and it's the wallet that most new people getting into crypto in America will likely use. Coinbase is going to on-ramp so many new people over the next decade, and they obviously have a huge incentive to push Base to every single one of their new users. Coinbase has already partnered with PayPal, and just recently it partnered with Stripe to offer USDC support through the Base chain. And if you look at the total value locked, or the TVL for short, in all of the different chains, you could see that Base is half of that of Arbitrum, less than a third of the TVL of Solana, and nearly 1/4 the TVL of Binance Smart Chain. I expect Base to have more value locked on chain than all of these other chains combined. So there is a lot more upside to go. So the first altcoin on my list that I want to make sure that I have in my portfolio before the next leg up is definitely one that has to do with the Base network. Now, before I tell you what that is, let me tell you a story of how I lost $7 million. Last cycle, I saw that the retail investors were short squeezing GameStop and AMC. I'm sure that you know about this, right? I saw that most people were signing up to the app Robinhood to buy and sell their stocks. I also noticed that Dogecoin was gaining some popularity amongst retail investors and that Robinhood allowed people to buy it. I also knew that Elon Musk loved Dogecoin and would constantly tweet about it. Putting all the pieces together, I knew that Dogecoin was primed to explode like nothing else before it. That's when I put in 6 figures, which was literally everything that I had, into Dogecoin. Unfortunately, for the next few days, I was absolutely glued to my screen, watching every single tick of the chart. And I was watching my profit and loss move up and down by thousands of dollars every few hours. Then I started to see my balance move tens of thousands of dollars up and down and up and down. And I couldn't handle the swings, so I closed my position, only to see Dogecoin go up by 7,000%. $100,000 times 70 is over $7 million. Now, I tell you that story because I see similar patterns for this meme coin on Base chain. No, I don't see it pulling a 70x from here. In fact, I don't really see any coin doing that, but I do see it going at least 10 times higher than the current prices. And the coin that I'm talking about is Brett. Brett is the official mascot for Base chain. Now, since Base is the official chain of Coinbase, and Coinbase is going to onboard millions of people onto Base, each of those users has a certain amount of money that they're going to be putting into the market and into Base chain. And since Brett is the main meme coin on Base, a lot of that money is going to flow into Brett. Last cycle, Ethereum hit 540 billion market cap, and Shiba Inu, which was the #1 meme coin on Ethereum, hit 40 billion market cap. So the #1 meme coin on Ethereum became 7.41% of the value of the network. You saw the same thing happen with Doge with Hat on Solana. When Solana hit 85 billion market cap, Doge with Hat hit 5 billion. So the #1 meme coin on Solana became greater than 5% of the total value on the network. So, since both the main meme coins on Ethereum and Solana became greater than 5% of the value of the network, that brings major confidence that the #1 meme coin on Base chain will gather at least 5% of the value of the network, right? We already have lots of reasons to be extremely bullish on Base chain. So, with the bullish thesis on Base, and the fact that the main memes on other chains have reached a minimum of 5% the value of the network, that makes me extremely bullish on Brett. On top of that, there is no official Base token. Ethereum has ETH and Solana has Sol. There is no Base token. That means that there is less competition for Base, and a greater percentage of money that goes into the Base network will likely flow into Brett. And it'll do that because there's no main coin to invest in. So it's actually possible that Brett will take up even more market share on the Base network than SHIB or WIF did on Ethereum and Solana. Also, SHIB and WIF performed better than the chains that they were on. SHIB went up way more than ETH, and WIF went up way more than Sol. So essentially, betting on the #1 meme coin on any chain is akin to a levered bet on the chain itself, except you're not using any leverage, so there's no risk of liquidation. And that is why Brett is my #1 altcoin pick to 10 to 100x this cycle. And just like everything else right now, we're getting a great opportunity to buy a major pullback and get these cryptos at huge discounts. Now, my #2 pick is moving into possibly the biggest narrative the crypto space will experience over the coming years and probably over the next decade or two. And that is called real world assets. Larry Fink, the CEO of the largest money management firm in the world with over $10 trillion in assets, said that the next evolution of finance will be the tokenization of securities. Eventually, everything that can be tokenized will be. This means securities such as stocks, bonds, commodities, and even things like real estate will all be put on the blockchain with specific identification codes for each thing, and we'll be able to treat them the same way that we do cryptocurrencies on the blockchain. This will open up a whole new world of possibilities within finance. In fact, I think that BlackRock has been buying billions of dollars worth of real estate so that they could eventually create a tokenized ETF based around the real estate portfolio. When something is tokenized, that makes tracking, auditing, reporting, and so many other things that are crucial to do much, much easier. It also makes transferring the assets, moving the assets, and viewing the history of the assets easier. Right now, the way things are done, especially in finance, is very walled off. Banks have their own underwriters and gatekeep a ton of information. A lot of times, you don't even get a reason for why things happen. You're not going to be told why you were denied certain things. And there are just so many hoops that you have to jump through or qualifications that you have to meet in order to utilize the current financial markets. I remember when I cashed out last cycle top and I tried to get a mortgage, it was such a pain in the butt that I decided to just buy the place in cash. But obviously that's not an option for 99% of people. Eventually, when everything is tokenized, there will be much more streamlined processes to nearly everything that you want done in the financial world. Imagine if car or house titles that signify ownership of the assets were tokenized and put on the blockchain. When you want to sell them, you could put the titles into a smart contract and have it only be released once someone deposits enough money into the contract. Or you could fractionalize your house and have multiple people deposit funds so that you get fractionalized ownership. And this could be done with anything from houses, cars, artwork, collectibles, and other valuable assets. Now, here's the thing. This tokenization of the world is going to take a long time. We are only just starting this entire process that will most likely take decades to materialize. However, there are certain plays that you could speculate on in hopes of riding this wave. And that is where Ondo Finance comes in. This is my favorite play for the RWA narrative. Ondo is the first and current market leader in tokenizing exposure to US Treasuries and is continuously rolling out new tokenized real-world assets. This is exactly what Larry Fink was talking about. Now, my favorite reason for liking Ondo has to be their world-class team. If you go to their website and scroll down right here, you could see that they only use high-quality assets and managers, such as BlackRock, aka Larry Fink's company or fund. Also, they use regulated service providers. These I know are really good. They are third-party audited, and most importantly, in my mind, is that they have a very experienced leadership team with an executive team with diverse experience across leading institutions like Goldman Sachs, Bridgewater, Millennium, and of course, BlackRock itself. And if you take a look at the Ondo chart, you could see it has been on an absolute tear since the start. It is up so freaking much. 600% it went up. And during this last market cycle crash where many alts lost 50, 60, or even 70% or more, Ondo has been one of the best performers, going from the very, very top to the very bottom losing only 43%, and that is keeping relatively steady compared to a lot of the other coins. In fact, this type of strength is exactly the type of strength that I want to see in longer term investments. It shows confidence and it gives a good reason for the crypto to do even better when things actually level out and when they start to move up again. Now, I'm not really sure if Ondo or other coins are going to fall back down again. If they do, getting in at anywhere around this, $70 to $80 region is going to be amazing. However, I definitely wouldn't want to just wait to see if it comes down there before I start buying. And so this is another great time to be dollar cost averaging into Ondo, in my opinion. Not financial advice, of course. Other real-world asset tokens I'm looking at include Relio, Swarm, Centrifuge, Truflation, and Leox. Now, you can actually see all of the real-world asset tokens by going to CoinGecko.com and clicking on categories. So you go to cryptocurrencies, categories, and then you go to real-world assets. So I could just click this, go to R right there, click real-world assets, and now you could see all of the RWA tokens that are available. And I recommend going through each and every one of these tokens and discovering the ones that you like and that you have confidence in. Now, for me, I like Relio or Rio because I've seen them continue to build and work all throughout the bear market of 2021 and 2022. But that's only when I first discovered them. They've actually been working on their crypto since 2018. As you could see from this blog post, Relio Network After 3 Years, which was made in 2021. So they have been working for quite a long time. And technically, I like Rio because it's one of the few coins from last cycle that even made new all-time highs in 2024. And to me, that just means that something is there, and it gives me tremendously more confidence in this coin compared to other coins that say did not reach new all-time highs this year or this cycle. Next up, we have Swarm, and I like Swarm because once again, you could see that it made new all-time highs in 2024. Swarm tokenizes stocks, bonds, and gold, and lets anyone trade these tokenized assets as long as they don't live in America or Canada because of the regulation there. Now, it is very possible that if Trump gets elected and positive regulation starts to become a reality in America, coins like Swarm can really take off. Next up, we have Centrifuge. Centrifuge is another one of the first RWA tokens. In 2022, Centrifuge became the cryptocurrency to handle the largest on-chain investment in real-world assets when Block Tower Capital, an institutional investment firm, partnered with the decentralized protocol MakerDAO to invest $220 million into real-world assets that will be used within the crypto space. So, although it hasn't reached new all-time highs this cycle in 2024, it definitely has some strength in its history. Next up, we have Truflation. And I like Truflation because it's backed by Coinbase and for a few other reasons. Truflation has the same products and services as the other RWA tokens, but it's also doing something unique. You could see on their website, if you scroll down, it says, next generation investors crave unique financial products. And then it has things like hedge against Rolex aftermarket volatility or purchase electric vehicle battery derivatives, go long on the US unemployment rate, or buy and sell tokenized uranium, or short synthetic orange juice futures. Most of these are super unique trading opportunities. So Truflation is tokenizing not just stocks, bonds, treasuries, and gold, but all of these real-world off-chain assets. And that is a huge market. Research by the Boston Consulting Group suggests that the tokenization of global illiquid assets could become a $16 trillion industry by 2030. So when you have Brian Armstrong, the founder of Coinbase, saying things like Truflation is a really awesome project and he supports it, that means something. Similar to Ondo, Truflation is guided by a professional executive team with experience at some of the world's leading companies, as you can see right here on their About page. And so those are a few of the real-world asset plays that I'm looking into and think have tremendous amount of potential. And talking about things with tremendous potential, I have to mention the Telegram token TON. TON is the community token of the wildly popular app Telegram. Eventually, as crypto continues to grow, it will become a major part of society, and crypto applications will be built into Web 2 apps that people use every single day. Meta, previously Facebook, tried to merge crypto into their platform with their crypto project Libra, but that was shut down by the US government. Telegram's original endeavors were also shut down. However, a group of devs found the open source documents for the Telegram token and turned it into an open, decentralized cryptocurrency. And now, Telegram is the first mainstream app to actually implement a crypto payment system within its app. If you look at their website, you could see that it's supposed to be really, really decentralized and a total open network. I mean, it's called the Open Network, or TON for short, and it's really meant for basically everyone. And you can see that there is a wallet that gives direct and easy access to TON from within Telegram. And you can enjoy commission-free crypto transfers to any Telegram user, so you don't have to pay any transfer fees, which is something that you have to do right now on exchanges. And if you scroll down, you could see there's even more things, such as buying and trading through decentralized exchanges, all within the TON ecosystem. And they're rolling out a whole bunch of apps and services for this entire network. Now, Telegram has nearly 800 million monthly active users. So a native crypto on such a huge platform is a really big deal. And if you want to invest into the meme coin on the TON network, there is Resistance Dog with the symbol Redo. So you can see this right here. It's Redo, and this is the official meme coin on the TON network. So if you're going with the same thesis of that meme coins are similar to leveraged plays for the actual networks themselves, and you have Brett on the base network, you have Resistance Dog or Redo on the TON network. And so that's why I have money in Redo as well. And finally, my last picks for this cycle, which I'm giving out in this video, have to do with the biggest narrative in the world in 2024. Before I mention the tokens though, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button on this video right now if you are enjoying all of this alpha. These videos take a lot of time, effort, and money to put together, and I would greatly appreciate it if you could help me out by smashing the like button, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a comment. It is completely free on your part and helps my small channel grow. Now, the narrative I was talking about is the US presidential election. Trump has already come out in favor of cryptocurrencies and will be speaking at the biggest crypto conference in 2024. Or at least I hope he's still going to speak there, especially after what happened to him at the rally. Now, from my research, there are two tokens that have the potential to moon if Trump gets elected, and they are Trump and MAGA. Now, these coins get a little confusing. The coin Trump is the ticker symbol, and MAGA is the full name. Like how ETH is the coin and Ethereum is the full name of the coin, and Sol is the coin for Solana, Trump is the coin for MAGA. The coin MAGA is the ticker symbol for MAGA hat. And so you could see this is the name of the coin. It's called Trump, and the full name is simply MAGA. However, there's also another coin called MAGA hat that has the ticker symbol MAGA. So you can click on that and you can see MAGA is the ticker symbol or the coin for the full name MAGA hat. Now, I think it's stupid the way they did it, but these are the biggest Trump cryptos that I could find, and the ones that I'm betting on will go up come November, and honestly, well before November, because remember about buying the rumor and selling the news? I think that these coins are going to fall into that category where they're going to go up into the election and then eventually just sell off going into the actual news event itself. I also think that if Trump, or when Trump actually rallies really, really hard for crypto, that MAGA and Trump will continue to actually go up and do very, very, very well. Now, I think that because there is massive support for Trump by the crypto community, and Trump has already declared to be crypto positive, that allocating capital towards coins that are affiliated with his name can end up giving positive returns given just how mainstream the presidential election is. Now, this is just my opinion. It's not financial advice. Nothing in my videos is, but it would be sort of stupid, in my opinion, to not be allocated to some of these cryptocurrencies. And with saying that, I just gave you all of my top picks for this bull run. Now, I truly believe that each and every one of these cryptos have massive potential, and I am personally invested into all of them. Now, if you're new and still haven't signed up to any exchanges yet, there are 3 things you could do. if you're American or Canadian, Coinbase is the first place that I would sign up to. So I would sign up to Coinbase and I would get the Coinbase wallet. A lot of the altcoins here that I mentioned are listed on an exchange called MEXC. Unfortunately, you can't get an account there unless you have an ID from another country, but you can purchase a Palau ID if you want to use MEXC, and I'll have a link for that in the description. And for a non-KYC exchange, there is a new one on the block that has partnered up with so many influencers and really big names in the space, and that is Bullrun. And one really big thing that I like about Bullrun is that you can see it uses fire blocks. So if you click on that, you could see that Bullrun strengthens asset security through partnership with fire blocks for custody solutions. Now, I like Bullrun because it has one-to-one backed reserves, and Fireblocks is the same custodian that Coinbase uses. So if you're looking for a non-KYC exchange, they're running a promo right now, and I'll have that linked down below. And if you want the full list of different resources that I use in the crypto markets, you could join the free Crypto Elite VIP group in the Discord and click on the resources channel right there, and you'll see all of the different things that I use. And if you want the signals, the alerts, my long-term investment portfolio, and so much more, you can go over here to wap.com/cryptoelite and you could join the VIP group where we are actually crushing it. You could see that we talk about crypto every single day in here. We're talking about how, President Trump and what happened with him and how that is affecting the markets. And also, I just actually hired a full-time analyst to go through the market 24/7 and look for trade setups for members of the community. And so we're discussing new plays, narratives, and projects every single day. And of course, I'm providing all of my trades for the VIP members, including all of the recent short positions that have absolutely crushed it and printed during the previous pullback. And then all of the different long positions that we actually took at the bottom, and as soon as Bitcoin actually breached 60K, we went long, and we're just making a ton of money right now. It's actually pretty awesome. You can see right here, one of the positions is up over $7,500, and it's only been one day. And so yeah, if you want to make money, no matter if the prices are going up or down, check out the Crypto Elite VIP in the description, and I hope to see you as a VIP member soon. And so with saying that, you're awesome, stay awesome. I hope you got value from this video. If you haven't already, smash that like button, and I'll see you in the next one.